What's up, kings and queens? It's your boy Dan from Daft Previews. We've got more playing tournament today. I've got two picks that I've already put down. I'm going to take you through those. If that sounds interesting, let's go.
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to you live from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice and the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.
Before we jump into the picks, we do have to recap the day that was. I didn't have the best day. I went 2-2 with the picks that I shared with you yesterday. VIP went 3-3, so we lost a little bit of profit on straight picks. None of my value plays hit, so we lost 5 units overall. And it was a little bit frustrating because I thought most of the reads were pretty good. So let me take you through what happened. Paolo Banchero took him over 38.5 points and rebounds. He rebounded very well in this game, but he couldn't get the shots to fall. I think he missed his first 8 shots, and he finished 4 from 13. Now, even if the shot was falling, I don't think he gets there anyway. And that was because Wendell Carter Jr., Anthony Black, Cole Anthony, they all had big scoring games. So I'm going to call that a bad read on Paolo Banchero on this one. I expected him to be a ball hog today, and he wasn't. He was passing that thing around like a really great teammate that he is. But that one sucked. I wasn't happy with that bet. Outside of that, I thought the reads were pretty good. Jaren Jackson Jr. took him over 25.5 points and rebounds. He plays 39 minutes. He didn't get into foul trouble, which is great. He shot better from 3 than he did on his layups. He took 6 shots in his favorite spot on the floor. That's in the paint, outside of the restricted area. And he shot 2 from 6 on those bullshit floaters that he likes to put up. So poor shooting. He just falls short. I honestly didn't hate that bet there for Jaren Jackson Jr. I also bet on Karis LeVert over 16.5 points and rebounds. He nailed his rebounds prop, but falls well short of his points prop thanks to his 3 from 11 shooting, which I think is tough variance because if we look at the games where he plays a similar number of minutes, where he takes a similar number of shots, with Trae Young, he's over this line in every single game. So bit unlucky with that one on Karis LeVert. But then we also hit 3 winners. Trae Young over 26.5 points. He got the way I expected him to. Took over 20 shots. Got to the free throw line a lot. And then Trae Young went and got ejected. I needed 2 more points for Trae Young to cash a value play, but wasn't to be. Took Draymond Green over 13.5 rebounds and assists. Didn't rebound very well, but man, he was diamond up like crazy. Big assist game for Draymond Green. Cashes the rebounds and assists. And Jimmy Butler, over 21.5 points. Easiest cash of the day. He was an absolute beast. Got hooked on a value play, silly me. But in terms of straight bets, I honestly don't think the reads are too bad. 5 out of the 6 I was very happy with. I've only got 2 down right now. Got a bit of a strategy that I'm playing with. I'm happy to share that with you. But let's get into those picks first. So jumping into Props Madness, this is the best tool you're going to find if you like betting on the NBA. You'll get a 7-day free trial and 25% off when you use the code DARF when you sign up. I encourage you to go check out Props Madness. I also have a couple tutorials on the channel if you want to figure out how to use this thing. But let's talk about it. We've got the Heat versus the Bulls. We've got the Mavs versus the Kings. I've got 1 bet in each of these games right now. But before we get there, let's talk about strategies real quick. So as you may or may not know, I recently started a school community called the Daft Collective. And this is pretty much where I share my strategies, my insights, the discipline stuff, everything that I know about sports betting. I'm going to be sharing it with the guys in this community. So feel free to check that out. Join if you want to. But the one thing I'm showing you here is something that I just shared a few hours ago. And this is the NBA playoffs player prop betting cheat sheet. And because it's easy to get swayed by hit rates, head-to-head data, matchups, right? But in the playoffs, things are a little bit different. So I've put together this cheat sheet for people to look at as they do their research, as they look for picks. And it calls out a couple of things to remind you. So not going through every single thing. We know that starters play heavier minutes in the playoffs. We know that rotations tighten. Those are very easy to understand. But there are a couple of other things that you need to factor in, like defensively, teams get a little bit better. That in-game adjustments are more important than the pre-game matchups. That regular season numbers can be misleading. The pace drops in the playoffs, so we get a little bit slower. And then there's a big narrative and psychology aspect of this thing that you need to factor in and consider, like young and inexperienced players. They may fold under pressure. They may not get the minutes. So a couple of juicy things like that. And it's something that I plan to use this group for, to share some insights that are going to help people when it comes to betting. But if you're interested in checking it out, I've got a classroom. And in that classroom, I'm starting to put together some course content foundations of smart betting, things on discipline, all that type of stuff. So if you're interested in checking this out, there is a link for it down below in the video description. You'll also get a 7-day free trial. So I encourage you guys to check it out. Go there now. But before we do, let's get into props madness and talk about the bets that I do have. So the first one in this Heat versus the Bulls game, I am taking my man from Australia, Josh Giddey. It's Josh Giddey. We're taking Josh Giddey today. Now, I will call this out real quick. There are two ways that I looked at this. The first way that I looked at it had a fantastic hit rate. And normally, that's the thing that I would jump on straight away. So firstly, with Josh Giddey, he's expected to play big minutes. This is an elimination game after all. When Josh Giddey plays big minutes, we're talking about 35 to 40, right? Now, he's played 13 games where he's played 35 to 40 minutes this regular season. I specifically wanted to look at the games after the trade deadline. So really, we're looking at games with Kevin Huerter in the lineup. And with Kevin Huerter in the lineup, Josh Giddey, that's his points prop over in 8 out of 9, assist-wise over in 7 to 9, rebounds-wise over in 5 out of 9, right? But check this out. I originally looked at this, and this is what I was going to bet on. I was going to look at Josh Giddey over his points, rebounds, and assists. He's over this in every single game since Zach LaVine got traded, where he plays more than 35 minutes. And I think he plays more than 35 minutes in an elimination game against the Miami Heat. That was the angle that I was going to take. But now that I factored in that it's the playoffs, points-wise, things get a little bit dicey. Think about it. Karis LeVert had similar types of research and numbers. Points didn't get there. Shot percentage was awful. Banchero, shot percentage was awful. Jared Jackson Jr., shot percentage was awful. So even though all the analysis I did looked something like this, the point side of things scares me a little bit. When I think about the playoffs and I look through the game log so far in the play-in, I know it's only been 2 games, a lot of these rebound props are in the cash. So for Josh Giddey, I'm only betting on his rebounds today. Over 9.5 boards. He's only hit this in 5 out of 9. He is averaging 11.4 rebounds in this sample size. He has hit this rebound line in both games against Miami. He had 10 rebounds and 16 rebounds in the 2 games against Miami post the deadline where he plays 35-plus minutes. And I'm looking at him to replicate this. So I did a deep dive to figure out how the hell is Josh Giddey making this thing happening. What do I mean happening? Well, I looked into it and I broke down the matchup. And this is why Josh Giddey gets all these rebounds. And this is also why I think he can continue to do it in this game. So Josh Giddey most likely defends Andrew Wiggins and a little bit of Haywood Highsmith when he comes onto the game. So that's the 2 he's probably going to defend. Those guys predominantly sit on the weak side offensively. Spot-up shooters. Wiggins does get a slightly higher usage rate, but for the most part, he's off the ball. Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, everything goes through them. So what that means is Josh Giddey is going to be in a great position to get defensive rebounds and a lot of uncontested rebounds. I thought about everybody else on this Bulls roster, all in their starting 5 anyway. We've got Nikola Vucevic and Matas Buzelis. They've got a tough assignment. They're going to be defending Bam, Khalil Ware, a lot of bigs, right? And they're going to be responsible for protecting the rim. Oftentimes, they're going to be contesting shots down low. They're also going to get caught in the blender of Tyler Hero and all the pick and rolls that they run. So they're not going to be in the best position to get rebounds anyway. Buzelis not a great rebounder for his size and athleticism anyway. Vucevic is a good rebounder, but in this particular matchup, I think it's going to be difficult for him to have a big rebounding game. He probably gets to 10, all right? Whereas Josh Giddey, I see massive upside here. Kevin Huerter, strong rebounder for a guard, believe it or not, but he's most likely to pick up Tyler Hero in this game. He's going to be on the perimeter. He's going to be caught in a lot of pick and rolls. I don't think we see a big Kevin Huerter rebound game. Then Kobe White. Now, Kobe White likely sees a lot of Davion Mitchell, a little bit of Alec Burks. They're going to be secondary playmakers on this Miami Heat offense. They're going to be spot-up shooters. So his matchup, probably not the worst for rebounding. But I doubt that Kobe White is going to be taking rebounds away from Josh Giddey. So Josh Giddey's hit rate around rebounds is not as good as his PR rate. But given the fact that it's an elimination game, the expectation that defense is going to tighten up, I think there's less risk in taking rebounds compared to taking his points and assists. So I'm just rolling with Josh Giddey to get some rebounds today. Love it. Over 9.5. You could play the double-double if you want to. I can't see where he doesn't score 10 points. Like, he's been scoring 22.6 points per game in this sample size. So 10 points seems quite safe. But the double-double, actually, the odds for it are terrible. So if you're looking at this, you can do 10 points, 10 rebounds for Josh Giddey. You probably get close to plus money. But I'm just running with the 9.5 rebounds, not overcomplicated nothing. So that's the first play that I have. The second play is in this Dallas Mavericks versus the Kings game. And in this one, I'm going with Anthony Davis today. Where is he? Here he is, the brow. Anthony Davis, and I'm looking specifically at his over rebounds and assists. Now, I caught this at 15.5. Half the books have it at 15.5 right now, but I would also play this at 16.5 anyway. So Anthony Davis, he's projected to play 35 minutes in this game. That would be the most minutes he's played as a Dallas Maverick. The most he's played so far is about 33. So we're about to see AD with no restrictions. It is an elimination game after all, so I can't see them holding him back. The other thing I want to call out here is that Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively are both playing for Dallas, which means Anthony Davis gets to play his preferred power forward position. We all know that he doesn't want to play center, and he's not going to have to, given that Lively and Gafford are here. They'll probably play about 20 minutes each, so Anthony Davis doesn't have to spend too much time at the 5. The other thing here to call out is because Gafford and Lively are here, Anthony Davis doesn't have to defend Domantas Sabonis. Now, Sabonis, he plays at the top of the key. He's involved in a whole lot of handoff action and a lot of pick and rolls, right? As a big man, that could be exhausting and that could be tiring defending that type of bullshit. And Anthony Davis is not going to have to do that. AD, he likely defends a Keegan Murray, a Trey Lyles. They're predominantly sitting on the weak side. Similar to Josh Giddey's matchup. These guys sit on the weak side corners. They're spot-up shooters. So AD is going to be allowed to roam. He's going to play in the weak side as help. He'll have to close out a little bit if they take some shots, but I can't see them taking too many shots because they're low usage rate players. This Kings offense runs through Domantas Sabonis, Zach LaVine, and DeMar DeRozan, who all probably play close to 40 minutes tonight. So I think AD is going to find himself in great rebounding position a lot in this game. Now, in terms of his assists, he's likely to see mismatches on offense, and I think he's going to draw a whole lot of attention like he has been seeing lately. He's shown off his great passing game, especially against smaller teams when he has a mismatch. A lot of teams can't defend him one-on-one, so they often send help. So he's going to get a lot of assists, in my opinion. He's also played the Kings 4 times this season, and in those games, 4.8 assists per game. He's covered this line in 2 out of the 5. Rebounding-wise, he's covered this in 3 out of 4, averaging almost 15 rebounds per game. So I'm really liking the matchup here for Anthony Davis. There is a world where he covers this line in his rebounds alone, but we'll see what happens. I think AD has relied on more to create offense compared to when he was LeBron's sidekick over in LA. With high minutes projected in an elimination game, a 4.5-point spread, I think AD fills up the stat sheet today. So I'm going with AD over his rebounds and assists. I would still play this at 16.5. I assume that's where the line's moving to, but I do think he has a big game. Now, let's talk through a couple of leans that I had, meaning bets that I almost placed. Believe it or not, I think the leans I shared in the last video performed great. So let's not stop now. Now, I did consider Kobe White under his points prop. He's been killing it lately, but this matchup against Miami is awful. He's gone under in both games post the deadline, and that's because of Davion Mitchell. Kobe White been playing big minutes in these games. Davion Mitchell is an absolute dog. He's going to make life difficult. The only reason I didn't bet it is because Kobe White probably plays more minutes than he normally does. This is an elimination game after all. Probably takes a little bit more shots. That's my only hesitation on betting on Kobe White unders, but for the most part, I think that's a decent look. The other one that I was considering is this guy, Dalen Terry. Now, these are his games post the trade deadline. This is an elimination game as a young player off the bench. I don't think he plays many minutes. I think he plays less than 15 minutes, and I wanted to look at his under in his PRA. Now, he's hit the under in his PRA in 12 out of 15 games. You're looking at 9.5. He did have 10 PRA in his last matchup against the Miami Heat. One thing to call out here, he only took 3 shots in this game. He made 2 out of 3 3-pointers. If he shoots 66% in this game and he goes over, so be it. But this is one role player off the bench, young player that I don't expect to play too many impactful minutes. If the game stays close, he's barely going to see the floor. If he does play, he likely has to defend someone like a Tyler Hero anyway, so he's probably not going to get any rebounds, probably doesn't get any assists. He probably takes 2 to 3 shots again, and if he shoots the lights out, so be it. But that's one of the unders that I'm considering betting on. And on the Miami Heat side of things, Davion Mitchell points and assists is one thing that caught my eye. Lines at 15.5 on most books. Up against the Chicago Bulls, he's hit this once out of the 4 games he's played, but only one of those games he played really heavy minutes, 36. And I think they're going to try to align Davion Mitchell's minutes with Kobe White. So if he's going to see the same number of minutes as Kobe White to shut him down, I think he's going to get his opportunities to score some points and get some assists. You could look at the assists alone. He's over this in 2 games against the Bulls where he played 30 and 36 minutes. That was another thing that I factored in, but I question how heavy is his usage rate going to be given the importance of this game. Does Tyler Hero get more? That I'm not too sure about. So Davion Mitchell is a lean for me right now. And the other one was looking at Khalil Ware, and I was looking at an under in his PRA, under 19.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Now, if you just looked at hit rates, you would think I was crazy, and I probably am, and I'm a little bit stupid sometimes. And if you look at how he's performed against the Bulls, you'd be like, you're nuts. Why are you taking the under? He's averaging 23 points, rebounds, and assists against the Chicago Bulls this season. He's played big minutes in all of them. Now, Khalil Ware in this spot, an elimination game, as a young player, I question how many minutes he's going to get because they have Bam Adebayo, who's more than capable of playing the 5 and defending Nikola Vucevic. I question how many minutes will he play. So I think there's a chance he could go under. But I might make a decision on that in the morning. And then looking at the Mavericks and the Kings, one player that I strongly considered was Zach LaVine here. I think Zach LaVine plays close to 40 minutes in this game. And take a look at this. If you look at Zach LaVine, since he's played in Sacramento, when he plays at least 39 minutes, he's over this points line in 7 out of 8 games, averaging 31.4 points per game. Needs to get 25 points to cash this line. I will say that the matchup here against Dallas is an awful one, though. They limit points in transition. They limit points to pick and roll ball handlers. They're average when it comes to spot up shooting, though. So the other pivot could be Zach LaVine to make 4 3-pointers. He's hit this in 6 out of 8 games, playing more than 39 minutes with DeMar. It's a plus money play as well. So that's one that I was thinking about, but I'm obviously not as confident in that as the other 2 bets that I'm actually playing. So I'm a little bit hesitant around that. I don't like what I'm seeing from DeMar. I don't know how the Sabonis is going to go. He's up against a lot of bigs today. That probably helps him. It probably doesn't. And then the other person I considered is this guy, Jonas Valanciunas. Now, his line's super low, 4.5 points and only 3.5 rebounds. And I'll tell you why his line's so low. It's because Jonas Valanciunas is only projected right now to play like 10 or 12 minutes in this game. But in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, how does he not play more than 10 minutes? Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively, and Anthony Davis. You've got Domantas Sabonis on his own. You got Domantas Sabonis, who likely gets in foul trouble because that's what he's known for. You got Trey Lyles playing off the bench, giving you a lot of time. Trey Lyles ain't that big. What is Trey Lyles? Like 6'8", 6'9", 6'10" at best? Like, they've got 3 7-footers. In my mind, I'm like, Jonas Valanciunas has to play some minutes, right? So I think these lines are super low. I know he's only projected to play 10 minutes, but surely, like, Sabonis could get in foul trouble, or the Kings can get absolutely dominated down low because of the size of the Dallas Mavericks. Then you have to play Jonas Valanciunas. So I'm considering just maybe playing his rebounds, maybe looking at his points and rebounds. I'm not too sure how I play this. I just think this line is super low, and it doesn't make too much sense to me. It gave me the same feeling when I was looking at Cole Anthony's lines for Orlando. His points line was 5.5. And I was like, this seems super low. Like, I get that he's coming off the bench, but the Magic still have to play their bench. He played the most minutes off the bench. He scored the most points on the damn team. So I might bet on Jonas Valanciunas because I don't want to miss the opportunity here. If he does play 15 to 20 minutes like he has done in the past, then this should be easy money. But we'll see where I land with Jonas Valanciunas. I might run a value play on it only. Looking at the Dallas Mavericks, already got the bet on AD. I obviously considered Daniel Gafford. And check this out. These are the games with AD and Derek Lively. We've got a very small sample size here. But in the 3 games with them, over his points prop in every game, over his rebound prop in every single game, he's playing about 18 minutes. He's projected to play at least 20 minutes. Him and Lively will pretty much play half the game each. But Daniel Gafford has performed extremely well when the other bigs are in the lineup. The challenge here is that the Kings are a somewhat difficult matchup for Daniel Gafford. The main area they don't allow points is around the basket. They pretty much give up points everywhere else. So the matchup is not the best for Daniel Gafford, but the hit rate is something to be considered. And the other one was on Spencer Dinwiddie. And this is very specific to Anthony Davis. I bet this a few times. Did let me down against the Lakers, but his rebounds and assist numbers with AD are fantastic. Now, he is starting off the bench, most likely, so that the Mavs can go big. Helps with their defense. But Spencer Dinwiddie still plays a ton of minutes off the bench anyway. He'll get close to 30. The rebounds, if you like hit rate, the rebounds have a better hit rate. He's hit this in 6 straight games. The assists are a little bit up and down, but he's got a pretty good matchup for assists here against the Sacramento Kings. So, yeah, that's another one that I'm thinking about right now anyway, but we'll see. We've got 2 games on. I don't want to force anything down. I'm very confident in the 2 bets that I have now. If through my research, I don't find myself being at the same level of confidence as I am with the Giddey and the Anthony Davis plays, then I'm not going to put anything extra down. But we'll see. I'll do more research throughout the night. I'll wake up early and do a little bit more research. We'll start cooking and we'll see what happens. But that's all I've got for you today, gang. I appreciate you guys for checking in. I wish you the absolute best of luck on this upcoming slate. If you're interested in joining my VIP, I'll leave a link down below for the discount. Or if you just want to join the Daft Collective and you want to learn more about sports betting from me and about discipline and have access to my strategies and my resource, you can go ahead and check that out as well. It does come with a 7-day free trial. But I do appreciate you all. Let's go.
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to you live from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice and the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.